It seems my faith in your abilities has been vindicated, Commander Raynor. Now the final blow must be struck. Use the artifact to neutralize the Queen of Blades and bring this bloodshed to an end.
The Engineer Corps is moving the Xel'Naga artifact to the base of the primary hive cluster. We'll entrench the last of our defenses all around it. Unfortunately, it's going to take some time to charge up the device for a strike against the Queen of Blades. Intel provided by the Mobius Foundation suggests that the Zerg will be attracted by the artifact's pulse emanations. Once it's activated, all nearby Zerg will go into a frenzy trying to reach it.
There's no way we can beat a sustained Zerg attack with what we got left.
The artifact itself may help with that. According to Intel, it can discharge what they're calling an energy nova that should kill any Zerg within its radius.
Whoa.
It takes time to recharge after each use. Otherwise, this would be easy. You'll have to activate the energy nova manually. Fortunately, it pulses on a subsonic frequency, so we'll be immune to its effects.
Recharge or no, I'll take all the help we can get right now, General. Remember, Kerrigan's still out there waiting for us.
How could we forget?
You've brought me the Xel'Naga artifact. It was good of you to save me the trouble of finding it for myself.
Warning. Large Zerg force incoming.
We're not ready for this many. We'll have to use the artifact.
An impressive defense, but not nearly impressive enough. My forces are without number, and yours are dwindling by the minute. This can only end one way.
Alright guys, StarCraft 2, Brutal Difficulty, Final Mission. This mission is not easy, I'm going to tell you that. Required way too much time to beat, and required an insane amount of luck at the end. So, if you haven't watched my previous video, I did destroy the Nidus network of the Zerg, and that's really going to decrease the amount of enemies on the final mission. In hindsight, destroying the Nidus worms makes it much more difficult of a mission because you have to keep using your flying units to defend your base instead of the 2 access points. Really, if you destroy the flyers up above, it makes it much easier because you can just walk around with a strike force of cloaked banshees, and those will defend your base just fine. That's what I did on my first run through. But you can agree to disagree on that, what the best one to destroy is. It doesn't make either one impossible, because you're going to end up massing air anyway. But if you are going to destroy the Nidus worms, you need to make sure that your Vikings have the splash damage upgrade for them, because that'll make them pretty much the superior anti-air fighter. But unfortunately, you do need to be able to hit ground as well, because the Zerg do send a formidable ground force after you. So here at the beginning, make sure that you send out dudes to build more bunkers and all that stuff, because you are going to need a very, very strong ground force, as well as a strong air force, which makes this mission quite the difficult one. Of course, that saying, destroying the air units makes it hell because of Nidus worms popping up in it everywhere. So here's your first little attack. They're always going to be sending Mutalisks in on this part no matter what, but they'll have some strong strike forces. But really the air strike forces won't be a problem, just because Vikings will one-shot all the Mutalisks and the Broodlords can't attack back. So it gets to be pretty easy. It's dealing with your ground force makes it more difficult. So don't forget to keep building more bunkers. Make sure your SCVs don't get stuck like mine did. But this is this is a long mission, and there's so many points where you have to be saving, otherwise you'll have to redo the whole thing. I found the west side to be the most attacked one, and it'll probably be the same way for you. So make sure that you really focus in and bunker up that one side. Of course, that's saying don't like ignore the more northern side one, or eastern side one, I guess. So yeah, make sure that you put some, mainly just bunkers and marines in those bunkers are the main way to defend that. I do put a bunker up top near the artifact. I would suggest putting a lot of bunkers up top there, just for the inevitable when your defensives fall at the very end of the sides. Of course, put dudes in your bunkers, all that stuff. Make sure you're constantly making SCVs. You don't need a lot of money for this mission, but you do need SCVs, and SCVs are always going to be, at least in my situation, they were always up at the front repairing bunkers and dying. And you're going to be constantly pulling groups of SCVs off the mineral line, so you always need to be making more. If you do have the upgrade for double SCV production, it does help with this mission, just because you'll be making double the amount of SCVs, and trust me, you can never have enough for this mission. I still stand behind microfiltering as the better upgrade, just because there are 3 refineries, which means you get 9 more SCVs at the beginning. So, you know. I do build, whatever those things are called, side disruptors on both sides. That really does help for ground units. I think it affects air units as well. But here they're going to launch their first attack on you. Just remember to keep building Vikings. I do have double starports, so that helps. And of course you have 3 battle cruisers to start with, so that's always a nice touch as well. So as you can see, they are, of course, attacking. I would suggest at least 5 bunkers per side, and I didn't do this, but, or maybe I didn't do this, but I would highly suggest a lot more siege tanks on each side, and maybe even some permanent Vikings on each side. Vikings that just kind of stay there to fend off the Mutalisks and Broodlords, of course. But don't forget to keep units up at the northern side, because there will be kind of like these little drop pods from the Zerg, and you will need to keep them back. Really, that fire suppression system is saving a lot of stuff, because it will heal units back to, I think, like 50% if they go below that, as long as they aren't taking damage, so that's a really nice touch. But just keep in mind that if the artifact does ever get damaged, you cannot repair it. So, you know, keep that little caveat in mind. So any damage that it does take, it's going to be there for the long haul. So here's the second airwave. First airwave was just Mutalisks, and it was, you know, pretty easy to fend off. I do build some missile turrets just to protect against the Mutalisks that come. But yeah, those Mutalisks you should have no problem defending against those. And I do call some Hero Marines to station in those bunkers. Those are going to be very, very useful coming up here. The Zerg are going to send some ground-specific attacks down there. And really, if you look at my Air Force, it's just those 3 battle cruisers that can hit the ground. Of course, Vikings can go on the ground, but they have really limited fighting capabilities, because if you want to send them into the ground, they take a lot of time in order to go into ground mode, and some of them won't even go into ground mode because of space restrictions. So I haven't used the artifact yet. It's about a 30%, but I call down the Jackson's Revenge and the Hero Banshees. I think those are like Duskwings or something like that. But as you can see, a lot of Marines in my bunkers. Marines are the, again, most important thing to have, just because Marines in bunkers can hit Banshees, and they also have super high DPS, and Marines in general just have low health, so kind of a win-win-win putting Marines in bunkers.
The Queen of Blades is in.
So, the Queen of Blades, she is going to come and attack us now. At this point, I would recommend making battlecruisers. If I had failed this attempt at beating this level, I would have just started mass producing battlecruisers next run through. Again, I didn't really like Vikings, and you can see I'm going to start Yamato cannoning the Queen of Blades, which I always find very funny. So really, yeah, the Yamato cannon's pretty much killer for that time. So, and she is going to burrow and not get killed. But yeah, if I were going to redo this mission, I'd just simply make battlecruisers. I would give that a try. If making Vikings fails for you, like it almost did for me, you're gonna see what I mean by that at the end of the video. But battlecruisers are really good at killing Queen of Blades, and they're pretty damn good against Mutalisks too because of their armor. But Vikings are also super good against Mutalisks as well. So just pick which one feels better after you beat a few of the things. But I did call down those Dusk Wings just so they could help with some ground DPS. And of course I am researching infantry weapons. Armor isn't useful at all just because of them being in bunkers and their armor not even mattering. So that weapons will help them with their damage output, of course. And of course, don't forget to save often. You don't want to, lose to a simple problem. And if in my case, just a problem that could easily be fixed. But remember, constantly reproduce bunkers that get destroyed. Fill up bunkers that have empty slots in them. You can probably see right there. My bunker has no dudes in it, so that was kind of a problem. But I only build about 2 bunkers down by the artifact. I would recommend 4, 1 or 2 on each ramp. Those are the 2 main areas, because once it gets down to it, they're going to be trying to break up the ramp, and you kind of need to stop that. And I think I also do right here build a bunker in the mineral line, but that part right there was really weird because air units didn't die to the Nova. But I did go Nova my first time. I think I was like at 36% or something like that. Once Horner says you're getting overrun, look at your minimap and confirm that you're actually being overrun, because the AI likes to lie to you a lot. Yeah. Again, the air attack waves, they don't get really bad. Matt sometimes will say, like, if you ever see them coming from the south to attack you, check and make sure that it's not like one Broodlord or something, because usually it is, or it's like 2 Mutalisks. So keep that in mind before you send your entire air army to cover it, because battlecruisers are extremely slow. And of course, if it is like one Broodlord, just send like 2 Vikings. So we're getting close to halfway done, and trust me, that's not even this is easy mode. I am halting production on my on my starports because I am maxed. I do call down some Marines because now they're going to start dropping us all over our base. So these war pigs are going to be defending our base for the most part. And of course, don't forget to use your Vikings to kill off any overlords that you can. They are going to try to destroy your supply lines or your supply depots that you have in the top areas. Oh, and there is the drop on the artifact. Don't forget about that. Don't forget to defend that, because otherwise they might just sneak destroy the artifact or take it down to a pretty low amount of health, which you don't want to allow. But the Queen of Blades, she's going to do her second attack run on you now. So hopefully your battlecruisers have recovered most, if not all, of their energy. I do have the Specialist Energy upgrade, which I think allows the battlecruisers to Yamato twice. So that's like a super necessary upgrade. I do land my Vikings again, of course, but the battlecruiser Yamato does a lot of damage to her, if not kills her. But I did get some science vessels as well, because those can heal any mechanical unit at the cost of their energy. And now I think General Warfield's going to do like some speech or something about we got him on the run or something like that, which is a complete lie. But whatever. And as you can see, I think we're getting close to having another Nova. Really be conservative with those, because you never want to use it until it looks like your defenses might actually fall. You'll see what I mean by that. Now, some people may argue that if you use it more often, you'll have more uses, just because once you use it, it'll start recharging. And if you never use it, it won't recharge. So, you know, I would recommend being conservative with it, though. But the Jackson's Revenge, really good battlecruiser. I think it costs, yeah, it costs the same amount as a regular battlecruiser, so there's no reason not to get it. And for the most part, hero units are very cost-effective, just because of, you know, 2 siege tanks cost like 200, 125 for each one of them. So siege breakers are really good value. Also, they're very supply effective, so keep that in mind. As you can see, that bunker will pretty much defend us against most Mutalisk attacks and all that stuff. So again, don't forget to load up your bunkers with units. Don't feel bad about making more bunkers than it seems like you may need, but you know. Of course, build more bunkers near the artifact than at your ramps, because once it gets near the end, you'll wish that you will have made more bunkers than you actually did. Even if you made like 2 like me, you'll wish you had 4 or 10. But as you can see, Vikings are just kind of destroying all of the Mutalisks and everything like that. But missile turrets, really useful. I did have some leftover money, if you watched my video. Spending them on missile turret upgrades is not a terrible idea. The life upgrade, and especially the missile pod one, those are pretty worthwhile upgrades, so I would consider getting those. It's better than just having money that won't do you any good in these missions. So I do load up those bunkers. Kind of have some extra slots that I just kind of move my dudes around. And I still think I'm pretty close to being supply blocked, or not supply blocked, supply capped. So, you know, it's not much you can do. I think I have enough supply to make 1 battle cruiser. I think they take up like 6, so I go ahead and make one of those. And I do have like that 1 Duskwings just kind of shooting. So the AI is going to start like, I think they're doing like those weird spore thingies. So here comes the Queen of Blades again. I think we're getting really, really close to an artifact discharge. I can't see. Either that says 0 or it says 3 minutes. But just keep in mind that the Nova won't kill Kerrigan. So, you know, don't activate it when she's like right there, because it won't do anything. So of course I'm doing my Yamato again. I didn't land any of my dudes, but her Psy Storm can cause a lot of damage, so you have to watch out for that, and that's her Psy Storm right there. But she gets down pretty quickly, so, you know, she is not a big threat. And of course we're going to make another save. The only reason that I have not truncated this mission is because it's, of course I have beaten the entire game by now, and I can rightfully say this is the hardest mission on Brutal. So, you know, people that actually need help on it need to see the entire thing to understand, you know, how to beat it. If they're looking for a guide, then, you know, this one, if any, required it, so. Alright. So now there's a quite large attack coming on this side. As you can see, the flyers are grouping up. in the mini-map, and I did expand my video preview, so now that I can see everything that is going on. Something really weird that I didn't really notice. Oh, and I did activate the Energy Nova, apparently. But something that I did not notice was that if an Overseer contaminates on the Nova, or the artifact, you can't use its Energy Nova. It's really... I didn't actually notice that. Oh, yeah, giant air thing. But yeah, you gotta watch out for that. And I think they will send out like some similarly huge ground or night. I think they like launch some weird Nidus attack on you, like inside your base if you didn't destroy the Nidus network. But here we're gonna have to deal with this thing. I think it's called the Leviathan. So we're going to Yamato it a ton. It is gonna send out like this weird like air interception attack thing. But some of my battlecruisers still had energy, but I didn't use Yamato for some reason. And my units were like fighting the random mutalisks that weren't doing a lot of damage. So, you know, be careful, because battlecruisers like sometimes won't use their Yamato. They'll like refuse to. So you got to like constantly be clicking on it, otherwise they won't launch it at all. But I did lose a somewhat significant amount of battlecruisers attacking that, and I think I lost all but 2. So that's going to severely hamper my ability to fight off any future Kerrigans. It's only one. So I would recommend making more battlecruisers. They are going to launch more attacks on you now, though. Luckily, my science vessels did live, so they can repair. And now we're getting 76% of the artifact has been defended. So I did call down more Hero Marines. Those are going to station up in the bunkers. As you can see, my bunker defense has been very successful, and I just queued up like 5 SCVs because of, you know, I have 4,000 minerals, so, you know. So I did send like 3 Vikings to defend my base, and of course I have 1 SCV who's going to be defending. But the Zerg are going to launch an attack, like a pretty pathetic one. So, and there's a clumping of mutalisks, and I don't even think they got one shot off. So you can see that the Viking splash upgrade is pretty darn useful. So I'm going to go ahead and save again. Artifact is reaching about 20% off, but some of my bunkers in the south area did get destroyed, so we're going to build more of those maybe after the SCVs are done repairing. SCVs like to repair. But as you can see on your mini-map, I didn't actually notice that Kerrigan was getting so close, so I activated the Energy Nova, and whoa, I didn't know that her Psystorm worked on buildings. Maybe it doesn't. But you really got to watch out for that splash damage. My Vikings were like all in the air mode, and then I think we land right here. Yep. Ooh, that's doing a lot of damage. Yeah, you really got to watch out for her Psystorm.
She's on the run, man. Let's keep the pressure on.
And then Tychus is gonna talk about something that I can't hear. But we're starting to get to the very end parts of this mission. And we got like 1 SCV, and I think I have 1 science vessel left at this point. So we have, looking like it, we're going to have 1 more Nova blast left for the rest of the mission. It's getting, as you can see, some of my defenses are starting to fall apart. So make sure that you're still producing SCVs. As you can see, my guys are starting to have to, my air defense is starting to selectively defend this one side. But I did make some more science vessels. Actually, I made like 4 more science vessels, not exactly supreme fighting force, but I made some of those, and I think I queue up like 4 battle cruisers in my tech reactors.
Base is under attack. Base is under attack.
So a few brood lords are attacking right there, and I think we have a ground assault coming. As you can, oh, and they did destroy my one, whatever that thing's called. I can't remember.
Base is under attack.
So the north, or the western side's kind of doing pretty well. I start researching plating, which probably should have done earlier. But they actually do use Scourge, which I find interesting, considering that they aren't in the game. In which I think they should be in the game. That's a whole different story.
Base is under attack.
So, western side's starting to fall apart as well. I think the northern side's actually doing pretty well, because its side disruptor is still intact. I don't think the northern's one is still. I would recommend, if you do get any hero units, bringing them to the artifact instead of to the front lines of the bunkers, because pretty much those bunkers are just there to bide time. As you can see, artifact is about 92%. Oh, the side disruptor does affect air units, apparently. But yeah, we do have the Nova. You might see me try to activate it, but Overlord just contaminated the artifact, so I can't actually activate it yet. And I think I do. What I would highly suggest doing to you, and if you see me activate the Nova right now, yeah, I'm trying to activate it. But I would highly suggest waiting, because Kerrigan is going to come up here, like, now, pretty much. And as you can see, we're like super close, but it gets really down to the wire. But I would recommend waiting until Kerrigan gets actually there, and then just using your line of bunkers at the artifact, which I didn't have, but you should, and using those to defend until she arrives, and then at that point you can just Yamato cannon her down. As you can see, I have about 6 battle cruisers, which I just made. But at this point, I kind of go into panic mode. Of course, I did redo this like for an hour, maybe. This one section right here, this tiny section from like 95 to 100% was the hardest part. And it kind of just took a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill. I kept getting like to 99.9%, and then the structure would die. So, you know, just maybe a little luck, maybe a little skill, you know, something like that. I wish you luck. This was kind of lucky. If you get to this point, just build more bunkers next time and make more battle cruisers. Really, you can just Yamato her to death if you are lucky. But these last 4 battle cruisers come out like right at the right time, and they help me barely defend the structure. You're just going to see me kind of looking at it, hoping that it lives. But that's all. I hope you guys enjoyed the guide. StarCraft 2 is an excellent game, my game of the year. Above Mass Effect 2. But yeah, that's all. Thank you for watching.
Artifact power at full capacity.
It's now or never, General. Hit it!